Australia is the largest country in Oceania, which makes it suitable for an entrepreneur to start business. It has cordial relations and free trade agreements with other countries, which allow it to carry out undisputed trade. Welcome back to this channel. My name is Ankit Mishra, and today in this video, we will discuss the process of registering your business in Australia. Forming a company in Australia is quite straightforward. It takes about a week to incorporate a company. However, one must note that it is a mandatory requirement to hire a resident director for incorporation. The applicant would require an ACN, Australian Company Number, TFN, Tax File Number, and an ABN, Australian Business Number, to successfully run his business. The Australian government has a liberalised scheme related to foreign investment, which attracts a lot of investors. The benefits of company registration in Australia are as follows. Number 1, free trade agreements. Number 2, best place to start business. Number 3, stable business environment. Number 4, educated labor force. Number 5, financial sectors. Now let us discuss the types of business structures for company registration in Australia. First one is branch office. A branch office is usually found by a foreign parent company. The branch office in Australia is mere extension of the parent company to carry out operations. Profit-making operations can be carried out by the branch office in Australia. Number 2, representative office. This form of office is usually formed by a foreign parent company. The representative office in Australia is a mere extension of the parent company to carry out operations. Profit-making operations cannot be carried out from a representative office in Australia. A foreign company would have to register the representative office with the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, ASIC. Third one is public company. A public company is an entity which is allowed to list shares in a publicly traded stock exchange. A foreign company going for this type of entity would require to have minimum capital for listing shares in the stock exchange. The principle of limited liability is enjoyed by shareholders of this type of entity. Minimum of 1 shareholder is required to form this type of entity. However, there is no limit on the number of shareholders of this type of entity. Shares can be offered to public. However, compliance must be maintained as per the requirements of the Corporation Act 2001. An investor considering company registration in Australia can establish this form of entity. Under company registration in Australia, the liabilities of this entity is not limited. There can be less than 50 shareholders for forming this type of entity. Now we will look at the eligibility criteria for company registration in Australia. Number 1, directors and shareholders. An applicant for company registration in Australia must have minimum number of directors and shareholders. This would depend on the requirements of the specific form of entity. Some companies are required to have minimum 3 directors, minimum 1 shareholder must be present in the company. Number 2, residency requirements. If the company is a proprietary company, it must have at least 1 director who should be ordinarily reside in Australia. If the company is a public company, then it should have 3 directors and at least 2 of them must reside in Australia. The company secretary also must be a resident of Australia. Number 3, age requirements. All the directors, shareholders and key management executives of the Australian company must be more than 18 years of age. Written consent must be obtained by the individuals to run the company in Australia. Number 4, FIRB approval. If there is an acquisition of shares by a non-Australian, then FIRB approval must be secured under the foreign investment regime of Australia. The procedure for company registration in Australia is as follows. Step 1, choose the business entity. Step 2, naming the company. Step 3, reserving the company name. Step 4, trademark registration. Step 5, drafting constitution of the company. Step 6, compliance related to registers. Step 7, registering the company. Step 8, following the post-registration compliances. The company has to display its name in the official registered address of the business. The ABN must be noted in all correspondence. All the documents and emails should have information related to the company. The post-compliance requirements for company registration in Australia are as follows. Number 1, shareholders meeting have to be held within 18 months of incorporation and within 5 months of end of its financial year when it comes to resolutions for specific matters. Then 75% vote is required. Number 2, board of directors meetings have to be held every year. This must be carried out once. Number 3, federal tax must be filed every year. Number 4, corporate tax levied will range between 25 to 30%. Number 6, all the balance sheet, annual returns and financial statements must be filed with ASIC. Such information must be filed with intervals of not more than 15 months. For a branch office and representative office, all documents which are required to be lodged as per the country origin must be submitted. Following documents are required for registering your business in Australia. Number 1, application form. Number 2, name reservation. Number 3, constitution of company or replaceable rules. Number 4, form for reserving the name of the company. Number 5, information on shareholders and directors. Number 6, information on registered office address. Thank you for watching this video and subscribe to this channel for more updates.